What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Flame Entertainment and Sports. It's your boy Rob here. Hope everyone's doing good out there. On today's episode, in the entertainment world, I'm going to be giving you a little recap as I was able to attend night 3 of Taylor Swift's show here in Miami on Sunday night. I'll also get into some Dancing with the Stars as always, as we had a great night on Tuesday. It was Disney Night, and it was a great episode. And, each couple continues to get better. And we did have one elimination. And I also will move into the sports world. As always, talk about the Miami Dolphins as we suffer a disappointing 16-10 loss against the Indianapolis Colts. But thankfully, our quarterback is scheduled to possibly come back this week. I'm recording this on Wednesday, and Tua is officially practicing today. But in order for him to play Sunday, we'll need him to, complete concussion protocol. And also tonight, the Miami Heat begin their season at home against in-state rivals, the Orlando Magic. So we'll finish off with a little basketball talk on today's episode of the Flame Entertainment and Sports. Before we get into it, make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at @theflame_ES. And yeah, let's get into some entertainment talk, starting off with the Eras Tour. Alright guys, so before we start off talking about the Eras Tour, I just want to give a little shout out here. After I finished recording last week's episode on Wednesday, a couple minutes after that, the news came out that Payne of One Direction had passed away. So I just want to, give a little shout out and send prayers to, his loved ones and all his fans around the world. And yeah, it's just a sad situation, It's been, a week now, and, there's been information that's come out about, certain substances that were in his system, as well as pictures of, drugs that were, in the hotel room where he, eventually passed away. And, it took place in Argentina. He allegedly, fell or jumped off of his balcony in his hotel room there. And, it's just a sad situation. And obviously he's part of, one of the greatest music groups of all time in One Direction. And, to lose him at such a young age, at 31 years old, is obviously, heartbreaking. And I just hope, hopefully this is finally the time where something is done in terms of the people that run, Hollywood. And hopefully the bad people who have been running this for years finally go down, so we can stop seeing so many talented individuals, lose their lives due to drugs and due to bad things being done to them as kids. So I just wanted to get that out, at first before I got into my topics for today's show. Now let's get into some Taylor Swift talk. So as I said in the intro, I was able to attend night 3 of the Eras Tour here in Miami on Sunday night. And it was an amazing experience. It's, after covering it on Instagram for over a year and posting, hundreds of clips of her different shows around the world, it was amazing to finally be able to experience it in person. And it's as amazing and even better than what people say it is. Like, obviously, through the videos and everything, it always looked amazing. And, hearing the stories, you only hear good things about her shows, right? But being there and feeling that energy in the building is incredible. And she just does an incredible job. She's a complete beast. That's how I keep describing her to people. She's up there for over 3 hours, no breaks, and she just keeps on going. And you could tell the main reason is that this is like what she loves to do. It's her passion, and she does a tremendous job. And, she had the whole crowd engaged throughout the whole show. And, as a lifelong Dolphin fan, it was amazing to see, Hard Rock Stadium, home of the Dolphins, all packed up and just people having a good time together on a Sunday night. And, seeing one of the greatest artists of all time and, being in the building for the highest grossing music tour that we've ever seen. So, yeah, it was an amazing experience. The opening act was Gracie Abrams, who I would say in the last year, she's really risen up in terms of, stardom. She's getting close to that superstar level, I think, in a couple of years. And it was amazing to see Gracie open the show. I remember a time where the whole crowd knew like every lyric of every song for an opening act of a concert. obviously, opening acts are always great, and I've been able to see some good ones right, over the years. But it was just so impressive that so many people in the audience knew every lyric to every Gracie song. So that was super cool. And it's funny, actually, the last two concerts now that I've been to, the opening acts now are like on their way to stardom right now. Back in March, when I saw Olivia Rodrigo here, Chapeau Roan open for her, and obviously, she's selling out shows now around the world. And now look, Gracie Abrams, I saw her open for Taylor on Sunday, and she, had just come off of a 4 night sellout at Radio City Music Hall in New York. So it's pretty cool. And you see these opening acts get their turn, and then obviously, another person part of this Eras tour as an opening act for a lot of the shows was Sabrina Carpenter, and now she's on a tour of her own, selling out arenas across America. So it's just amazing. Gracie did a great job, and it was finally amazing, to be able to see her and yeah, in person, do her thing, and she did just a great job. She had the crowd engaged as well. And then yeah, Taylor was just like I said, she's just a beast. She's a powerhouse. She keeps the people going. And something I love is that for each era or each song, she even does like different facial expressions, and there's some acting and stuff like that. And I think it makes the concert even better. It makes it feel like more than a concert. Kind of feels like some type of Broadway show. And then with all the decorations, all the different stuff on stage, all the lighting throughout the stadium, like it's just a full on show. It's more than a concert. It's a whole experience. So yeah, the Eras tour was incredible, and like I said, it's even better than what people say. Feeling that energy in the building on Sunday night was incredible. And I would say my favorite the my favorite part of the show was when Taylor performed "Bad Blood." I felt like that was the best energy I felt all night in the stadium. It just hit different for some reason. Obviously, that song's a song that gets people going and hyped up, but it was just like everyone's like so hyped up, and throughout the song, it would like blast fire in the stadium, and just like adding those different effects really makes a difference. And it was just an amazing experience. The other song that really I felt that energy like super high too was for "Shake It Off," which is another one of her classic songs that most people know. And yeah, "Shake It Off" it was an amazing energy as well. And honestly, every song felt amazing. Even the ones where I don't know all the lyrics, right? I was still up and at it the whole time and just enjoying it. Seeing arguably the greatest singer of all time do her thing in person in my hometown. So couldn't ask for more. And yeah, it was an amazing experience overall. With that said, now let's get into some Dancing with the Stars talk. As we had Disney Night this week on Tuesday, and we had one eliminated couple. Um, Let me open up my scores for you guys really quick. It was a great night of dancing once again. The season's been to me one of the best ever, because I feel like the majority of couples keep getting better week in and week out, and I feel like the competition is going to be tighter than ever as we get closer to the end, as this season winds down. So with that said, the first couple of the night we had Steven and Riley, and Steven and Riley. I just want to make sure I get the right dance style and all that. So Steven and Riley danced Charleston to "A Star Is Born" from the movie Hercules. So Steven played Hercules, and I thought this was a nice dance by Steven and Riley. I enjoyed it. I uh, I don't think it was like their best dance of the season, but it was a really good dance. I just feel they've had like some great dances throughout the show, so this wasn't a great one, but it was a really good one. If that makes sense. I gave Steven and Riley a 26, and they received a 24 from the judges. Another thing to keep in mind: for the last couple of weeks, it's been 4 judges. For this one, they returned to the original 3 judges format. So obviously, the highest you could get is a 30. Just to keep that in mind, it's no longer a 40. After Steven and Riley, we had Jen and Sasha. Jen was Ariel from The Little Mermaid, and Sasha was Prince Eric. And they danced, let me get this right. They danced Rumba to "Kiss the Girl," which obviously, a song that so many people love. And yeah, Jen and Sasha, I think, to me, this was one of the top dances of the whole night. This was my favorite dance of theirs by far. I think, yeah, this was their best dance of the season. I'm super impressed by the progress and improvement of Jen, and you can see she's putting that work in and really, listening to Sasha and getting better week in and week out, and she's starting to look more like a dancer each week. So she's doing a great job, and yeah, Sasha has always did a great job. I gave Jen and Sasha a 28. They received a 24 from the judges. So First two couples get the same scores from the judges. Then you move on to Joey and Jenna, who I would say they're my favorite couple this season. I love watching them dance. Obviously, Jenna, one of the great pros in the history of this show. She always does a great job. And then Joey, he's been incredible. He looks like a natural dancer more and more. Like as time goes on, it's incredible. He literally looked like a dancer to me yesterday. They danced a samba to Trashing the Camp from Tarzan. So Joey played Tarzan. I gave him a perfect 30 out of 30. They received a 25 from the judges. But yeah, just another elite performance by arguably the favorites to win this competition. And after Joey and Jenna, we had Chandler and Brandon, who are another one of the favorites to win this competition. I really enjoyed Chandler and Brandon's dance. They danced a Paso Doble to We Own the Night from Zombies 2, which Chandler is part of. She got to play the character she plays in Zombies 2 in this dance, so that was pretty cool for her. I thought Chandler and Brandon, I thought this was arguably their maybe first or second best dance of the season. I gave them a 29. They received a 27 from the judges. Then next up, we had Phaedra and Val. I would say this was my least favorite dance of the night. It kind of looked like a night one dance. Phaedra was kind of off with the beat. You could tell she was maybe in her head or maybe she has some sort of injury, but you could tell something was off with her. With that said, they danced the jazz to Cruella de Vil. And, Phaedra played Cruella de Vil. I gave them an 18 out of 30, and they received a 24 from the judges, which was kind of shocking to me that they received the same scores as Steven and Riley and Jen and Sasha. But, it is what it is. Then next up, we had another couple that's arguably one of the favorites to win it all. And in the last couple weeks, they've been arguably the best couple in the competition. That's Danny and Whitney. They did another amazing dance. They did that opening scene from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie to the song Bye 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 by NSYNC. And I think this was arguably the best dance of the night, and it could be arguably the best dance of the season. I gave Danny and Whitney a 30. They received a 27 from the judges. After them, we had Dwight and Daniela. They had a big improvement this week in comparison to last week's performance. I thought Dwight did a better job of keeping up and, knowing more of the steps, and you could tell he was having more fun out there, and he wasn't as much as in his head as he was last week. Dwight and Daniela, they danced tango to When Can I See You Again from Wreck-It Ralph. So Dwight played Wreck-It Ralph. And yeah, I gave them a 22. They received a 24 from the judges. And then the final couple of the night was Ilona and Alan. This couple just continues to get better. I think the last 2 or 3 weeks, you just see Ilona gaining that confidence more and becoming a dancer in front of our eyes. And I think it's amazing to see Ilona and Alan dance to jazz to Surface Pressure from Encanto, and I gave them a 26. They received a 25 from the judges. Then something new in this episode, as the competition goes down, obviously there's less couples, so there's more time, right, to do different things with these couples. We had our first, what do you call it, team dance? Yeah, our first 2 team dances of the season. The first team was called Team Roar, and that team had Dwight and Daniela, Danny and Whitney, Steven and Riley, Val and Phaedra. How I scored, so how the judges scored these couples is how they do with the individual couples, right? They each give a score. The 3 judges, how I did it, I scored each couple. So since there's 4 couples in the group, I gave each couple a score. With that said, they received a 24 from the judges. I gave Val and Phaedra a 6. I gave Steven and Riley an 8. Danny and Whitney a 10, and then Dwight and Daniela an 8. Then the next team was Team Goofs, who won this team round of the competition tonight. They did an amazing job. Team Goofs had Ilona and Alan, Joey and Jenna, Chandler and Brandon, and Jen and Sasha. They received a 30, they received a 27 from the judges. I gave Ilona and Alan a 9, Chandler and Brandon a 10, Jen and Sasha a 9, and Joey and Jenna a 10. I really enjoyed the team portion of the dance. I thought it was really cool, and this is usually when you see the couples let loose more. They're not as much in their head as they are usually, and they just have more fun out there and let loose a little more, and it was super enjoyable to watch. And then for the eliminated couple, my prediction going into it was Phaedra and Val, and I was right. Phaedra and Val were eliminated from the competition tonight. Next week we'll have another show on Tuesday night on ABC and Disney Plus at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll have another couple eliminated. And the competition is getting down to the wire when you look at it right now. And I think each couple is getting better. And I'm super excited to see what else happens on the rest of season 33 of Dancing with the Stars. Now we'll move on to the sports world. I'll talk some Miami Dolphins and Miami Heat. All right, guys. So now to get into the sports world, going to start off here with the Miami Dolphins as we suffer our fourth loss of the season. We lost 16-10 to the Indianapolis Colts. We fought a 2-4 on the year, and the Colts improved to 4-3 on the year. This was a super disappointing game overall. Watching the game, you could tell even with our backup quarterback, you could tell that we're a far superior team on paper, but then the Colts. But at the end of the day, that means nothing if you can't execute it. If the players can't execute, if the coaching staff can't execute, that means absolutely nothing. And you got to give the Colts the credit for doing less mistakes and ultimately securing the W for their team. And yeah, it was a very disappointing game. It started off super slow. I'm trying to open up here to remember, so I give you guys a right, play by play. So the Dolphins, we had an early touchdown drive in the first quarter where Tyler Huntley found Jonnu Smith for a 10-yard touchdown. And at first it looked really good. Early on, you saw Tyler and Jonnu really developing a nice connection. And then we add on a field goal right before halftime to make it 10-0. And the Colts literally had 22 seconds before the half, and we allowed them to get all the way downfield, and they make it a 10-3 game. So at halftime, we're up by a touchdown, and I was feeling really good. Unfortunately, we lost Tyler Huntley during the game, and our backup Tim Boyle had to come in. And unfortunately, something that I think really messed up this game for the Dolphins, to talk about really quickly. So in the first half, I was shocked because Mike McDaniel was actually changing his play calling ways. He was finally committing to the run, like we've all been asking him to do for a long time now. And I was super happy and proud. I was like, oh man, look, he's finally learning. So the first half was looking good. And then unfortunately in the second half, we completely abandoned the run game. We tried to just rely on the pass. And with that said, we relied on the pass without involving our top two pass catchers, as Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill each only had a catch in this game. Waddle had 2 targets in the game, and Hill had 2 targets as well. And that's just absolutely unacceptable. I don't care who's playing quarterback out there. The fact that you had a bye week to prepare for this and figure out a way to get your best 2 weapons involved, and you still couldn't, that makes no sense. And then when you add on the fact that Braxton Berrios didn't even play in this game, actually he did play in this game, I'm sorry. I messed up. Then you add on the fact that now Braxton Berrios is out for the year. He tore his ACL in this game, so sending our prayers to him. But yeah, the fact that you couldn't involve your best weapons is unacceptable. And then the fact that the running game, like I said, it was working in the first half. You're committed to it. That's why you're winning. And then you like completely go back to your old ways that haven't been working, and we end up losing, and only by 6 points. So it was a super disappointing game. Go over some of the numbers really quick. In the run game, Devon Achane was able to play after suffering that concussion a couple weeks ago in Seattle. He had 77 yards on 15 carries. And then Raheem Mostert had 50 yards on 11 carries. The rookie Jalen Wright had 33 yards on 5 carries. And in total, we ran 40 times for 188 yards, averaging 4.7 yards per carry. So why the heck did we go away from it in the second half? And then defensively, I thought we did a good enough job. I mean, we literally, it was halftime, allowed 3 points. Then the second half comes, we change our ways. And, unfortunately, the Colts were able to add on some points. But, none of these games this year to me fall on the defense. It falls on the offensive side, and it starts with Mike McDaniel because he's not just the head coach, but he's also the offensive play caller here. So it was just another frustrating game to watch as a Dolphin fan. Like I said, we fought a 2-4. Now this week we'll be coming home and we'll be hosting the Arizona Cardinals, and it looks like Tua Tagovailoa will be able to play in this game. It's still not 100%, but I would say it's basically like 70 to 80% right now. As I record this on Wednesday afternoon, that he will be in action after suffering that concussion on week 2 against the Buffalo Bills. So hopefully, adding Tua in will obviously make a difference. But at the end of the day, I said it a couple weeks ago. If Mike McDaniel doesn't change his play calling ways, it's not going to matter who's that quarterback. Whether it's Tom Brady or whether it's Patrick Mahomes, whether it's Taylor Swift, it doesn't matter. If McDaniel doesn't change his ways, it's going to continue to be the same results week in and week out. So we just got to hope for the best as fans. That's all we could do, and cheer on our guys and hope that Tua is able to stay healthy in this one, and help us dig out a win against the Arizona Cardinals to try to pick up our third win. And with that said, we're kind of lucky that the majority of our division is struggling right now, as we're currently in second place at 2-4, which is just like mind blowing to think about. Buffalo's in first; they've had a nice year. Then it's us 2-4. The Jets are 2-5. The Patriots are 1-6. So we're lucky we're still in this somehow. And now we're getting our franchise quarterback back, so we should be feeling blessed. But like I said, at the end of the day, if McDaniel and the coaching doesn't change, I don't really think it's gonna make a big difference in the long run. And then to talk about a group that I think is the worst in all of football, our special teams. It's been 3 years with this coach, with Danny Crossman, and there's been no improvement in the special teams. It looks terrible. Unfortunately, Jason Sanders, he missed another kick. He's been very inconsistent this season. Already his 6th year here with the Dolphins, and I feel like we might be nearing the end unless something incredible happens that all of a sudden he starts hitting every kick for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? I feel like this might be his last season here. That wouldn't shock me, but we're just gonna have to wait and see on that. But yeah, now we play an Arizona team coming off of their third win of the year in LA against the Chargers, as they moved to 3-4, and they're actually up there in their division. They're tied with the 49ers at 3-4, and yeah. I mean, they've had their struggles along the way, but they've also had their big moments where they've come through. And I think they have one of the most underrated defenses, actually, as a unit in the league. I'm not saying they're a top-tier defense whatsoever. Maybe they're middle of the pack, but I don't think they get enough credit. I think the majority of their struggles this year have come on the offensive side of the ball. And obviously, they have some pretty good tools, right, or weapons. Quarterback Kyler Murray, James Conner. There's a running back, Marvin Harrison Jr., the rookie receiver, Trey McBride, who's been arguably the best tight end in the league this year. But they do have weapons on their side. I just feel like their defense, for some reason, hasn't gotten credit. And I think the same goes for the Dolphins, honestly. Like, I'll say, overall, our defense is probably middle of the pack, but they've been way better than talked about, because our offense has been so damn bad that there's really no point on people, covering this defense, because the offense has been so bad. And obviously the Tua injury, now Tyreek and Waddle not getting any targets. It's so much drama. But the offense, there's not really much to talk about. I get it in the media, right? But talk about this defense. So, I understand. But now let's move on to some basketball talk, as the Miami Heat begin their season tonight, as I record this Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, against the Orlando Magic here at the Kaseya Center. And at halftime of this game, Pat Riley will be honored, as the Heat will be naming their court the Pat Riley Court at Kaseya Center. As actually Alabama Crimson Tide did that a couple months, last month with Nick Saban. They named their field Nick Saban Field, so it's pretty cool. I'm super happy for Pat Riley. 30 years of greatness, and as I always say, thank God for the Heat. And I can't wait for the season to tip off officially tonight against the Orlando Magic, another team that actually, I'm really high on. I think the Magic are going to make some noise this year. Obviously, last year they made a huge improvement, and Jamal Mosley, their head coach, in his short time in Orlando, he's made such a difference. And their front office, I think, one of the most underrated in the league as well. And I'm excited to see what they do this year. But obviously, tonight it's all about the Heat. Hopefully, we start out the year with a big W here at home. And, I'm super excited for this season. Obviously, we're led by our anchors, and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. But then we have so many young pieces that I'm so excited about that I think are going to shock the whole NBA. Obviously, Jaime Jaquez coming into his second year. Nikola Jovic coming into his third year. And then we have a couple of rookies that I'm super excited about. Khalil Ware, the first-round pick out of Louisville. And then another guy I want to mention on here is let me put him up. Kashad Johnson, the undrafted rookie out of Arizona. I think he's going to be a hell of a player this year. I think he's really going to be a part of the rotation for the whole season. And he's going to be one of the main reasons why I think the Heat could go far this season. So remember that name, Kashad Johnson. Then, of course, some other youngsters to talk about. Pelly Larson, our second-round pick. Obviously, Tyler Hero. We're expecting more growth from him as well. And then we have some nice vets and some nice, role players that people have kind of counted out that I think can make a difference. I think people forgot we brought in Alec Burks, who was arguably the best bench player last year for the New York Knicks. And he's always been a consistent scorer off the bench throughout his career. Played in many teams like the Jazz, the Warriors, just to name a few. And like I said, he was huge for the Knicks last year, even in the playoffs. We bring back Haywood Highsmith, who is a hell of a role player for us. And then, of course, as always, there's Duncan Robinson, he's always going to make something happen. He's just a consistent player, and he gives it his all. So, with that said, I'm super excited for this season for the Heat. Can't wait to watch them tonight. They tip off their season, like I said, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time here at home in Miami at Pat Riley Court at the Kaseya Center. So let's go Heat. Let's go Dolphins. And yeah, it's going to wrap up our sports portion for today's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of the Flame Entertainment and Sports. Make sure to keep up with us on social media, on TikTok and Instagram at the Flame_ES. Make sure to subscribe wherever you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. Subscribe on YouTube as well. Share with any people you think would enjoy hearing about any of these topics. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Fins up. Let's go Heat. Until next time, everybody, take care.